Quick disclaimer, this video is going to be a lot less scripted than the last one that I made. It's not that I have less on my mind, but it's more just a bunch of random jumbled, jarbled up stuff in my head that I think about a lot. Now, for the longest time growing up, I have a bunch of things and all these little moments in my life that have influenced the person that I am, which who doesn't? But I wanted to discuss some of the things that really stuck out to me. And now, a quick little thing is, for those who don't know me, or I guess for those who generally just kind of haven't really understood or heard the side of me, I've grown up a lot on YouTube. I think for a majority of my childhood, I did spend a lot more time indoors than outdoors. It's not that I didn't have friends or anything, but usually all my friends were either in school and, I would just see them at school and I didn't really play with them outside, or, I had friends online, which I just played with on my Xbox growing up. So a lot of the time that I had when I was younger, it was spent mainly on YouTube or playing on my Xbox or my Wii. And my first introduction to YouTube was, I want to say when I was in like first or second grade. I was with my mom in our apartment, and I don't really remember what she was doing, but I think she had to go out somewhere to like talk with a friend, or maybe she was even just in another room. But she handed me her laptop, and before then, whenever she did this, it would only be for me to like a quick little distraction. I'm usually playing like Bejeweled or something on one of her websites, or this other game with like, you would have these balls and you would shoot them before like this like line of balls. They're all different colors. You had to match the ball to the other balls in the line so that it would like destroy the other balls. Anyways, I had only gotten on her laptop just to play games or something like that. But then she showed me this website called YouTube. And I can't say for sure what the exact first video that I watched was, but some of the main ones to stick out to me were this one Minecraft video where it was just a guy and he built like this little railway. I had no idea what I was watching at the time, and I most definitely could not read. So I was just watching this little video, and then I would go off the thumbnails and just click whatever I saw next. And she knew at the time that I liked Mario and stuff, because my first console, since it was the Wii, I had a few Mario games. I played like Super Mario Galaxy, Mario Sports Mix for some reason. I also had like Mario and Sonic at the Winter Olympics, and then the classic New Super Mario Bros. On the Wii. So big Mario kid. But there's this sorry, my voice is cracking, I don't know why. There's this video, and it was in the thumbnails, and I saw these kids, and they're like playing with these plushies, and I always thought it was really silly just watching them do all this random stuff. And it was Super Mario Logan, and I don't really know how that influenced me in my childhood, but I watched a lot of him growing up. I know I probably shouldn't have, but it was still very interesting to be that young and be introduced to something as, I don't know, loud and something I shouldn't be watching, but I still watched it. On top of that, I had my standard gameplay videos that I would watch. Besides Logan, I was introduced to Team Fortress 2 not through gameplay, but it was through these Garry's Mod animations and SFMs. One of my first and my favorite SFMs was this video called Rise of the Epic Scout, where it was just the main character Scout just kicking ass because he's really cool. And also, I kind of consider this my version of Skibbity Toilet, just all the old Garry's Mod videos that just is straight up brain rot. I think Skibbity Toilet is really bad just because of like it's mainstream, and a lot of the Garry's Mod SFM stuff that I watched was not mainstream at all. But now that, I don't know, there's 2- and 3-year-olds watching whatever the hell's going on in Skibbity Toilet, I don't know what that's doing to the youth. But I promise I'm not too much of an iPad kid. I'm not digging in my nose and eating my boogers. At least not on camera. But that's what I grew up watching. I was very into Valve stuff. I played Left 4 Dead when I was younger. I also, besides YouTube and all that, I watched a lot of Cartoon Network. I was never really into Disney Channel or Nickelodeon. I would watch them when they were on, But a lot of the time, since those channels played a lot more live action and, you know, just showed more real people, I was never really interested in like sitcom type of deal or sitcom shows. I was more into cartoons, and I don't know, I think it's because they're always more vibrant and it let me use my imagination a lot more. I see real life all the time. Why would I want to watch some other people just be real? That was also around the time when, you know, I still couldn't really comprehend a proper joke or still read. So a lot of the live action stuff just kind of flew over my head. So that meant I never really got into shows like Zack and Cody or iCarly, mainly because I really was just too young. I knew I shouldn't watch stuff like Adult Swim, but that's mainly because my mom would come in and, you know, hurry up and turn off the TV. Really strict about bedtime, but I do appreciate that because that's really the only consistent thing I have in my life. Going to bed at like, I don't know, 8 o'clock and waking up at 6. People think I'm weird because of that, but I tell them it's because I have, you know, a good sleep balance. But my dad, he would still let me watch stuff like Family Guy and Robot Chicken, which of course I should not have been watching in, you know, elementary and middle school, but it was still something that kind of influenced me a little bit. It was very, I wouldn't say bizarre. I knew I shouldn't have been watching it, but it's not like I never like closed my eyes like, oh my god, I can't watch blood or anything. My mom also necessarily wasn't really strict. She was just being a good parent, because I don't think many kids should see, you know, Quagmire doing his little thing, because I don't really know how that would be beneficial to anyone's development, seeing Quagmire do whatever without fully realizing why he's kind of a quirky little character. But all these things I kind of I consumed as a kid, and in terms of how they influenced me, you know, it's kind of hard to think about in the grand scheme, but I don't feel like I necessarily got into like a wrong crowd or saw anything that I wasn't supposed to see. I mean, as a kid, you're not really supposed to see a lot of adult stuff like that, but I don't think it was bad for me. I mean, on one hand, I really wouldn't be here without it. And I say be here as in like making content for people to see in the first place. I know that I'm not necessarily big or anything right now, but whenever I notice that, you know, over 100 people at least like clicked on one of my videos, I'm thinking I have something to say. And everything that I've went through has led up to this moment. And once again, that led me to the thought of, what do I want my content to be? What do I want people to take away from my videos? And in the previous video, I did mention that, you know, I mainly do this to kind of get people to laugh. There's a lot of serious stuff that everybody thinks about all the time, and there's a lot of serious stuff constantly going on around the world and in people's lives. And my thought for the longest time has been, why do I want people to worry? Why do I want people to, I don't know, see something that surprises them when they already have a lot of stuff going on? But I can't really think that way, because of course not everything is always gonna be fine. On the other hand, it's like I can be a sort of light to people's day if I can create something that's at least a little bit lighthearted, or at least like gets you to smile. I haven't necessarily found my place yet in terms of what I kind of want my content to be. I know that I have this passion to create something, and I don't ever think that passion's ever gonna go away. I could have any job that I want if I really worked for it, and even if I didn't have the job that I wanted, I could make a living doing what I need to do. But deep down, I know that whatever I do end up doing, I'm always gonna be, you know, the things that led up to me being the person who I am. And that person is someone who wants to make things for people. There was a certain point where I had this thought of like, you know, nothing really matters. I'm just a drop in the bucket. Who cares about what I think? But that idea doesn't make any sense considering the fact that something as small as a smile could make someone's entire day. And the fact that, once again, I have people who have smiled at the things that I create. It's really nice. And I imagine it was nice for them being able to see what I made. And so my thought is that if I can keep doing that, if I can keep at least like some joy in other people's lives, it's worth it to put the effort in to make something for someone or for someone's, lots of people's. But even then, I don't know. For what I'm doing right now with these little thought videos, a lot of it is honestly some stuff that I would like to tell my friends, but first of all, I'm kind of bad at communication. Anyone who's ever texted me at all understands that, like, or knows that I am horrible at responding, and I often think about everyone a lot. I've never really been the person to go to my way to text like, hey, let's hang out, or kind of just initiate text. I have this thing where I kind of just wait, but then I just sit alone and I don't really do anything. Whenever people text me, I'm usually busy just playing a game by myself or watching a video or a show. But oftentimes there's a lot that I have on my mind and on my chest that I want to tell people that I kind of just put on the back burner for no real reason most of the time. Just the fact that I'm okay with being alone, which it's not even necessarily that I'm okay with it. It's just I feel like I'm too used to it. But these videos are mainly for people who are, I don't know, interested in what I think, even when I'm not talking to them directly. But at the same time, it's for those who have at least some sort of artistic vision or something, and they kind of just want to hear someone who has a similar thing going on, in which I'm glad to be a voice. I've always enjoyed listening to videos like these where someone's kind of just talking and I'm able to be the listener at the same time. To summarize this incoherent babble of a video, a lot of the things that made me the person who I am now have convinced me that whatever I make in the future and now, and also whatever I have made, they mean something to someone out there. Even if it's small, even if it's immature, if it's stupid, if it's funny or sad, a lot of it means something. It can mean a lot to any person. It could also mean nothing to one person, but at the same time, it's out there, at least for what I'm doing right now. If I'm talking in the third person, I'm putting my stuff out there to hopefully get someone to have their own little thought by hearing my thought, which I think is cool. I think about that sometimes.